Okay, so you know how it is you'd maybe like a bit more happiness in your life, but uh, the thought of some huge life change just feels, well, exhausting.
Yeah, totally. And that's where Gretchen Rubin's work, specifically the Happiness Project, really comes in. She kind of gets that.
She does. And that's what this deep dive is all about today.
What's great about Rubin, I think, is her focus. She's a writer, obviously, but she really digs into habits, human behavior, and her whole project, it wasn't about, flipping her life upside down.
No, not at all.
It was more about experimenting, seeing how small, everyday tweaks could actually lead to, well, feeling genuinely better, happier.
Exactly. So our mission, if you like, is to pull out those really practical bits from her year-long experiment. Things you can actually try, weave into your day without it feeling like this monumental task.
Makes sense. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. So first up, this idea that the little things done consistently have this surprisingly big impact.
Right. This is like the core of it. Rubin's big takeaway. What you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. It sounds simple, but it's profound.
It really is.
It's those daily rhythms, the small habits, not just, the big holidays or achievements that really shape how happy we feel day to day.
Like what sort of things?
Well, think about it getting just a bit more sleep consistently, or spending 5 minutes tidying one corner of your room. It seems minor, right?
Yeah, almost trivial sometimes.
But the cumulative effect on your mood, your energy, it's surprisingly large.
Hmm.
And there's science here too. These tiny wins, they create this little feedback loop in your brain.
The dopamine hit.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Reinforces the habit, makes you feel a bit more capable, which, well, boosts happiness.
That makes total sense. She talks about things like decluttering, which you mentioned, prioritizing sleep, even just saying thank you more often. It's not complex stuff.
No, it's the regularity. That's the key. That's what creates the shift.
So if you're listening and thinking, okay, where do I even start? Here's a little nudge. Just pick one small thing,
Tiny.
really tiny. Maybe just making your bed each morning. Or she suggests making an effort to actually smile at a stranger you pass. Just try it for a week. See what happens, what you notice.
And that focus on what works for you connects really well to her next big point, which is essentially about being yourself.
Ah, yes, the quote.
I can choose what I do, but I can't choose what I like to do.
That one hits home.
Doesn't it? It's fascinating how much unhappiness can come from trying to force ourselves to enjoy things we just don't, or
Wow.
feeling like we should like certain things because they're popular or whatever.
Oh, definitely. Trying to love that trendy hobby or that music everyone else seems to adore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't click. Rubin's point is that accepting what you genuinely enjoy, leaning into that, even if it's quirky or not mainstream, that's incredibly freeing.
Frees up mental energy, right?
Yeah, totally. And leads to more actual joy. So, another little action tip for you. Maybe jot down, say, 5 things you really enjoy doing. No pressure, just things that make you feel good.
Could be anything. Reading, walking, baking.
Anything. And then try to schedule just one of them into your week. Actually put it in the calendar.
Good one. Now, linking this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
relationships often come up, don't they?
Oh, hugely important. Rubin herself says something like, the most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy. It's all that matters. And for most people, a huge chunk of that enjoyment comes from connections with others.
Absolutely.
And again, it's often the small gestures in relationships that make a big difference to our mood and to the other person's mood, too. The psychology backs this up. Strong social ties reduce stress, increase feelings of belonging, and it's powerful stuff.
It really is. Things like sending quick text just to check in.
Yeah, exactly. Or being quick to forgive some small annoyance, maybe.
Or just consciously making a bit more time for people who lift you up.
Yeah.
It all adds up, doesn't it?
It really does. So maybe your next small step, if you're feeling it, is just to call or message someone you appreciate. No big reason, just to connect.
Simple but effective.
Yeah.
Okay, what about passions or hobbies?
Right. That ties in nicely. Rubin has this line, it's easy to be heavy, hard to be light.
I like that.
Yeah. What she means, I think, is that getting absorbed in activities we genuinely enjoy, things that interest us, it just lifts our spirits, makes things feel lighter.
And it doesn't have to be some massive time commitment, right?
Not at all. She mentions even just 15 minutes a day. Dedicating that small chunk of time to a hobby, an interest, it can really shift your whole mindset.
So maybe thinking back,
Uh-huh.
like what did you used to love doing? That thing you let slide,
Could be painting, playing guitar, writing.
dancing in the kitchen.
Totally. Reconnecting with that, or maybe trying something new you've been curious about, it injects joy. So, the action here. Maybe spend 15 minutes this week on that old hobby or exploring a new one.
Just 15 minutes. Seems doable. Okay, finally, appreciating the everyday.
Yes, this is crucial. Finding happiness in the ordinary moments. Rubin puts it so well. The days are long, but the years are short.
Oof, yeah.
It's so easy to just rush through the day, focused on the next thing, and miss the good stuff that's happening right now.
Like what kind of stuff?
Family dinners, maybe? A walk outside where you actually notice the trees? Laughing with a friend over something silly. These aren't grand events, but they're the bedrock of long-term happiness, really.
So it's about gratitude for those simple things.
Exactly. Cultivating that appreciation. Consciously noticing the good bits already in your life, instead of always chasing some future ideal.
And a practical way to do that.
Her suggestion is simple. At the end of the day, just take a moment, write down maybe 3 good things that happened, doesn't matter how small.
Just acknowledging them.
Just acknowledging them builds that gratitude muscle.
Okay, so pulling it all together,
Yeah.
the big message from the Happiness Project isn't really about massive, dramatic changes.
No, not at all. It's about recognizing the power that's already there in your daily life. It's the small, mindful, intentional actions, adding those in.
Those are the things that build up, that cultivate more joy, more satisfaction over time.
Spot on.
So on that note,
Mm-hmm.
here's something for you to think about. Of all these small changes we've touched on, the tiny habits, being authentic, connecting, pursuing passions, appreciating the ordinary, which one kind of sparks something for you right now?
Good question.
Just consider how consistently doing even that one thing might subtly but significantly start to reshape how you experience your day-to-day life. Something to mull over until our next deep dive.